couple years ago, I shattered my collarbone and I got that nice, tasty little scar. And I was out of work for 8 weeks. And I shattered it. I had to get surgery. I have a plate in there with a bunch of screws. And it was pretty terrifying when your first mortgage bill arrives and you all of a sudden, are like, how do I pay my bills and my mortgage for the next 2 months? What's up, y'all? Fellow musicians, I want to talk about injuries today, something I've dealt with multiple times, and to give you some resources if you find yourself getting injured or sick and unable to perform and do your job, play your gigs. This is a way that you can get some help. There's resources available. First thing I want to talk about is trigger finger. I literally just left an orthopedic surgeon getting my second cortisone injection in my hand because I was waking up. And it's summertime, it's the busy season. I've been gigging multiple days a week, every week. I recently wrote a book and was on my keyboard typing a lot. And I think just all of that, plus playing violin since I was 2 years old, I've logged in tens of thousands of hours doing repetitive motions. And it finally caught up with me. And I was having trouble. I was waking up in the morning and couldn't close my hand all the way. It's numb from the shot right now. But when I would wake up in the morning, I would try to open my finger and it would involuntarily go like this tendon in my finger. It's a really scary feeling. Trigger finger is most common in elderly women, but with musicians especially, it's something that comes up. It can be in any of your fingers, it can be in your thumb. So if you ever feel that happening, don't just hope it goes away or take Tylenol. The first step is you can go get a referral to get a cortisone shot with lidocaine in it. And they give you a shot for your first finger, which is what I'm dealing with. Got shot right here. It feels like your finger is exploding. It's just all this pressure. And then it goes numb for about an hour. But then, I got this shot back in May, and it really helped. Within 2 days, I was like, whoa, it's totally gone. And they say 50% of the time, that just fixes your issues. But if you have to come back and get a second one, I think you have to wait at least 6 weeks. Mine just started flaring up again in August. I got the first shot in May. So felt it was a little worse this time. It was into my joint down here. Anyway, they gave me a second shot, and they say that the doctor I dealt with said 75% of the time that makes it go away permanently. But the PA that gave me the shot today said a lot of people actually have to come back for surgery, so I'm not sure what to believe on that. But the point is you can get 2 of these cortisone shots spaced out, and then if you still have an issue, the next step is a 10-minute surgery that puts you out of work for roughly 6 to 8 weeks. And it's not the first time that I've been in this situation. A couple years ago, I shattered my collarbone and I got that nice, tasty little scar. And I was out of work for 8 weeks. And it was pretty terrifying when your first mortgage bill arrives and you all of a sudden, are like, how do I pay my bills and my mortgage for the next 2 months? So I wanted to tell you another resource that came in really handy for me. MusiCares is one organization, and the Musicians Foundation out of New York, I believe, is the other one. I used both of those, immediately applied. I was on painkillers and was just freaking out. I was like, how am I gonna not go into massive debt, And I applied, and if you're a professional musician and you show that you make your income through performing gigs or songwriting, session work, recording, any of that stuff, these organizations are actively looking to help people just like us. So know that is available, and pay attention to your body too. When something starts hurting, that's one of the reasons I play on my little Martin. The pickup in it sounds just as good as my nice, $3,000 guitar. So I was playing a big dreadnought, and my shoulder for 3-hour gigs, 2-hour gigs, multiple days a week for months in a row, my shoulder was just really bothering me. So I took my little Martin out and have been playing on it ever since because there's a lot less strain on my body. A lot less, reaching forward over a big body instrument. So that's the first thing to do is pay attention to your body. But if you do find yourself getting some type of illness that puts you out of work or a major injury, Musicians Foundation paid for my mortgage bill for an entire month. They paid my lender directly. The money never even passed into my hands. And then MusiCares paid for my surgery copay, which was $2,500. They paid that directly to my medical provider. So you will have to upload tax returns, a couple years just of your tax returns proving that you are in fact a professional musician and that you do pay taxes on your income. If you meet those requirements though, these organizations exist to keep you from just crashing and burning and ending up homeless or getting your house or your car repossessed. So I wanted to bring this to your attention as fellow musicians because I had never heard anyone talking about that before now. And then for a couple years, right after COVID, MusiCares was also giving out gift cards for, I think, $200 for anyone that applied. If you're a professional musician, you have to prove it. But then they give you a gift card, prepaid, $200. And it was like 2 Christmases in a row that they did that. So it's a really good idea to know that these organizations exist and just to be aware that you have help if you need it, if you're ever in a bad spot like I have found myself in a couple times. And if you start dealing with trigger finger, know that sometimes all it takes is a shot and a $30 copay if you have insurance. That might make it go away forever. But if it is, in fact, worst case scenario and you need a surgery, it's a 10-minute surgery and you'd be out of work for about 6 weeks. So they say. I hope that helps some of y'all. And if you have any friends going through, musician friends or family members that are going through a hard time, make sure they know about MusiCares and Musicians Foundation.